Good afternoon to all of you. In the previous class, I have solved a problem on helical spring. In today's lecture, we'll see one more problem on the spring. Okay, I will read the statement. Design a valve spring for an automobile engine. In this case, you need to design a valve spring, okay, to open and close the inlet and exhaust valve. Okay, they're going to use the spring system. For that, you need to design the spring for the automobile engine. When the valve is closed, the spring produces a force of 45 newton. When the valve is closed, it produces 45 newton, and when it opens, produces a force of 55 newton. Means when the valve is closed, it produces 45 newton, and when it is open, it produces 55 newton. The spring must fit over the wall bush. Means whatever the uh, spring design you're going to do, it should fit in a whatever the wall bushes which are provided. Okay, and they are given the dimensions of that. The wall bush is having the outer diameter of 20 mm and must go inside a space of 35 mm. Okay, these are the dimensions. Within that, the spring has to fit. The lift of the valve is 6 mm. Means whatever the lift is there, that we'll call it as y dash. Okay, that value is given as 6 mm. The spring index is 12. Means the spring index, that is denoted by C, value is given, it is 12. The allowable stress may be taken as 330 megapascal, and modulus of rigidity is also given. Okay, we'll note on one by one the given data. Here you can see that whatever the automobile engine is there, the force which are acting, okay, on the spring when it is closed and open, one is 45 newton, other one is 55 newton. Okay, and they have given the wall bush. Within that, it has to fit. Okay, whatever the dimensions they are given, I will tell you when you have to see these for the design calculation. Next, they have given the lift of the wall is 6 mm. Means whatever the lift is there of that wall is 6 mm. Okay, noted it as y dash. The spring index is nothing but C, it is 12. The allowable stress is, this is the allowable stress which a spring can take. Okay, one is 330 megapascal, that is allowable stress, that is shear stress tau is equal to 330 megapascal. Megapascal is nothing but Newton per mm square, and modulus of rigidity is 18 to 10 raised to 3 megapascal. Megapascal is nothing but Newton per mm square. And if you see the dimensions, whatever y dash is there, it is in mm. Okay, and the shear stress as well as modulus of rigidity, it has to be Newton per mm square. Already it is megapascal, it's nothing but Newton per mm square. Next, and usually when you want to design that, you will have a confusion which force to consider. Okay, always when you design a spring, you have to consider the maximum load. Okay, because of that maximum load, the deflection in the spring will be maximum. Okay, always you have to design the spring for the maximum load, and for that maximum load, and you will get a maximum deflection. Always you have to design for 55 newton, or in this 55 is greater. Otherwise, whatever the problem you're going to get, in that always you need to design for the maximum load and the maximum deflection. Okay, now I need to calculate the maximum deflection. Okay, how to calculate the maximum deflection? Okay, if you see the data input in the figure 11.4, they have given this formula. Okay, I will show you. Here you can see that this is the figure 11.4. Here, this is the spring which is subjected for load F1. Okay, assume that the F1 load is 45, F2 is 55. Here the maximum load is acting. Okay, from this you know it is Y2. That is the total deflection of maximum deflection is equal to. You have to use this formula. Okay. Here Y2 is equal to F2 Y dash. If you see that equation, if it is F2 Y dash, F2 minus F1. Okay, I have taken this formula from this pattern book. In this case, you know the Y dash value. Okay, Y dash is nothing but the lift of the valve. It is given as 6 mm. Substitute the 6 mm. F2 is the maximum load. It is 55. Here, maximum load is 55 minus minimum it is 45. Substitute the value. Okay, you are going to get the maximum deflection. Okay, the maximum deflection which is observed is 33 mm. Next, after that, whatever the next procedure is there, it is same as that of the previous problem. Okay, in the previous problem, the deflection was given. In this case, deflection was not given. This is how you need to calculate the deflection. Right, first is diameter of the wire you need to calculate. You have to use the equation 11.1d. In this case, k is not given. You need to calculate the value of k, as well as mean diameter is also not given. You need to calculate that. Okay, k value from the Bulgarity data book 11.2a. This is the equation. Okay, in this case, c is nothing but the spring index. It is given in the statement. It is 12. Substitute that value. After substituting this value, you are going to get the value of k. K value is 1.119. Okay, now substitute the k value in the above equation. Whereas this capital D mean diameter is not given, diameter of the coil. Okay, you know the definition of spring index. This formula is also there in the data book. Definition is it is the ratio of mean diameter to the diameter of the spring wire. Okay, therefore D is equal to take this T to the left hand side, it will be C into D. Spring index value is given 12. Substitute that value. Therefore, D is equal to 12D. Substitute capital D as 12D in the above equation. Okay, shear stress is also given. It is 330 megapascal. Substitute all the values. After substituting that value, you are going to get the diameter. D is equal to 2.401 mm. Okay, but you have to select the standard diameter of the wire. Okay, from table 11.2. Okay, you need to select the standard diameter. Yes. From this table, you can see that table 11.2 standard dimension of the wire. Okay, how much is the value which we are obtained? The diameter we obtained as 2.401. Okay, you have to search that. 2.25 is the 2.40 is there. You cannot select 2.40 because the value which you obtained is 2.401. Means you have to select the next standard one. It is 2.50. Therefore, the standard diameter will be D is equal to 2.50 mm. This is the standard diameter which you are going to select. After selecting the standard diameter, next is you need to find out the mean diameter. Therefore, mean diameter of the coil from the spring index formula, mean diameter is equal spring index is equal to mean diameter by diameter of the spring wire. Okay, you take this small d to the right hand side. From this, you will get the formula for mean diameter. It is C into D. C it is given, it is 12. D just now you have calculated diameter of the coil wire. It is 2.5. Substitute that, you will get the mean diameter. Okay. After that, outer diameter, it is capital D plus small d. Capital D it is 30 plus small d it is 2.5. Therefore, outer diameter is 32.5. To find out the inner diameter, you need to minus or you need to subtract the diameter of the wire with the mean diameter. That is capital D minus small d. We will get it as 27.5 mm. Now, as you can see that in the given statement, what he has told is the spring must fit over the wall bush. So whatever the spring you are designing, it should fit in the wall bush whose outer diameter is 20 and inner space is 35 mm. Within that, it should fit. Means whatever the outer and inner diameter you have calculated, it should be fitting within that. It means inner diameter, it should be greater than the outer diameter. Outer diameter is 20, okay, whereas our inner diameter we get is at 27.5. There is no issue. It is greater than 20 mm. Now you need to check the outer diameter. How much we are getting? It is 32.5. But what is the maximum limit they have given? It is 35 mm. Okay, means the value should be within that. Okay, if the outer diameter, if you are getting it as 35 point something, means that spring will not fit within this, whereas we are getting it as outer diameter is 32.5, means it will fit within that, means it is safe. You can proceed further. Next, you need to calculate how many number of active coils are there. Okay, you have to use equation 11.5a. Okay. In this case, the Y2, it is 33. Here you have calculated the maximum deflection. As I told you, always you need to design for the maximum load and the maximum deflection. You can take Y1, but why you should not take Y1 and F1 means always you will be designing the spring for the maximum load and maximum deflection. That's why they have taken the formula as Y2 F2 here. Otherwise, the formula is Y is equal to 8F d cube I divided by d raised to 4 into G. Whereas you will be designing for the maximum load and maximum deflection. That's why I have taken Y2 and F2. Substitute the values. In this case, only I is unknown. Okay. Substitute the diameter is 2.5. Modulus of rigidity is also given 18 to 10 raised to 3 megapascal. Whereas the mean diameter just now you have calculated is 30. Substitute that. From this, you will get the value of I, that is number of active coils. Here I am getting it as 8.68. Okay, you cannot take 8.6 at decimals. Okay, active coils means it can be odd or even. Okay, that's why you need to round it off to 9. You cannot take the previous value. The value you are getting it as 8.6. If you are getting 8.1 also, you have to take the next number, that is 9. Therefore, I is equal to number of active coils is equal to 9. After that, next step is to find out the free length. Okay, and if you see the given statement, in the statement they have not mentioned end condition. Okay, if the end condition is not given, you need to assume. In this case, I'm going to assume it as squared and grounded. Total 4 end conditions are there. plane and second one is plane and grounded, third one is square, fourth one is square and grounded, ground and. These are the four conditions. In that, any one you can assume. In this case, I'm going to assume it as square and ground ended. Okay, and as you assume this end condition from table 11.4, you need to note down the free length formula from that. Okay, now I'm going to take that data handbook. Okay, 11.4. Yes, this is 11.4 table. Here we are assume square and grounded. Okay, therefore the free length formula, it is I plus 2 d plus y plus a. Okay, you have to use this formula. Free length L naught is equal to I plus 2 into d plus y plus a, and whatever this a is there, you can take the a value, okay, from this formula x into d. Okay, and in this case I, okay, it is number of active pulse you have calculated in the previous step. Substitute that. Diameter is also calculated. X, you need to take it from this figure. Already in the previous problem, I used this formula and I have solved that. Now, what we will do, one more formula is there to calculate the A value. I will use that formula. Okay, that A formula is nothing but you have to take the A formula is 25% of maximum deflection. This is one formula, or you can use A is equal to X into B into I. Now I will use this A is equal to 25% of the maximum deflection. Okay, whereas the maximum deflection we have obtained it as 33 mm. Okay, here you can see that maximum deflection we obtain it as 33 mm. Okay, whereas in this case, if you take 33 mm, I value you will get it as 8.68. Okay, whereas we are rounding it to 9 means the deflection will change. Why? Because you are increasing the number. Okay, for that reason, what you have to take means you have to calculate the actual maximum deflection. How to calculate the actual maximum deflection? Use the same formula. Use this same formula. Y2 is equal to, otherwise, here you can see that. Yes, here 11.5a. Why? Because from this formula only you calculate the value of I. In this, actually the value we obtained it as 8.68. We are round it off to 9. Means now to find out the actual maximum deflection, use this formula, substitute the value of I as 9. Substitute that, remaining all the values are same. Substitute that. From that, whatever the maximum deflection we're going to get is 34.2 mm. Okay, now this value has to be substituted here. 25% of the maximum deflection. 25 means you can take it as 25 divided by 100. That is nothing but 25%. Or you can take it as 0.25 into maximum deflection. Take it as 34.2. Don't take 33. Because if you take 33 and whatever the I value you are going to obtain from that is 8.68. Whereas here you have rounded it off to 9. That's why you have to take the actual maximum deflection. Means you have to take the 9 and the maximum deflection will change. It will be 34.2. Substitute that. From this, you are going to obtain the A value. Okay. Once you get the A value, and this Y is nothing but deflection. In this case, you have to consider the maximum deflection. In this case also, don't substitute Y2 is equal to 33. You have to substitute the actual maximum deflection. It is 34.2. Substitute all the values. You're going to get the free length. Okay, this is the free length, 70.25 mm. After getting that, next you need to calculate the pitch. How to calculate the pitch? Okay, you have to use the same formula. Oh, sorry, table number. Table number 11.4. You have to use table number 11.4. Here you can see that pitch is there. Pitch on this, you will get the pitch formula. Here you assume it as square and rounded. Therefore, pitch is equal to L naught minus 2D. L naught is nothing but free length minus 2D divided by L. Substitute that formula. Therefore, pitch is equal to L naught minus 2D by I. L naught is free length. Substitute that. D, diameter of the coil wire. Substitute 2.5. I value you are calculated. It is 9. Substitute that. From that, we will get the pitch. Once you get the pitch, next is to find out the required stiffness. Okay, from equation 11.78, the formula is F naught is equal to F by Y. As we are designing the spring for the maximum deflection and maximum load, you have to take maximum load by maximum deflection. Substitute that values. Okay, 55 divided by 33. F naught you will get as 1.667 Newton per mm. Whereas this is the required stiffness. Whereas if you take the actual spring rate, I'll be using the same formula. F naught is equal to D raised to 4G divided by 8I dq. This formula is also same, 11.78. From that data handbook only I have taken that 11.78, as you can see. Yeah, this is F naught by Y, other one is D4G by 8I dq. Okay, I have taken this formula. In this case, D, I'll substitute that value G, 8, I will substitute as 9. 9, I'll substitute that D value. From this, I will get other value. Okay, why? Because I actually we obtain it as 8 point how much 8.68. We have rounded it off to 9. Okay, in this, because we have taken I value 9, the actual value will vary. Therefore, F naught is equal to 1.607. Here it is 1.667. The last one is to find out the total length of the wire. Okay, this is L is equal to pi d into I dash. Okay, I dash is nothing but total number of turns. Total number of turns. I is nothing but total number of active coils. I is nothing but total number of active coils, whereas I dash is total number of coils. This whatever the formula is there, I dash equal to I plus N. You will get this formula in the data handbook 11.4 table. 11.4. Here you can see that this is the total. This is end coil, active coil. Active coil indicates I, whereas total number of coils they will write it as I dash. Therefore, I dash is equal to I plus 2 because you have assumed it as square and rounded. Therefore, I dash is equal to I plus 2. Take this formula from this table. Okay. Therefore, I dash equal to I plus N or I plus 2 directly. 9 plus 2 it is 11. Substitute that 11. D mean diameter you have calculated 30. Substitute that. From this you are going to get the total length of the wire.